Hi everyone, Vladimir is here, and today I wanted to do a short, or rather not so short, review of the game Hollow Knight. I've played the game for about 16 hours now, and I've tried to make my own opinion on this. The community is split into two parts: those who like the lack of direction and abundance of exploration, and those who don't. I can understand both sides. There are not many Metroidvanias with such obscure sense of purpose, but also heightened sense of exploration. The lack of directions, where you traverse the game map with lots of mazes, can build an excitement, but it can also take it away when you are going through the dungeon for the 20th time. And I wish I was exaggerating. Maybe I suck at this game, but I've honestly tried to play it without googling stuff for the first 10 hours, and I progressed somewhere, but then I got stuck, and it really got frustrating. Because simply you just don't know where you should be. Rock Paper Shotgun calls this a worse version of Ori and the Blind Forest, and I cannot agree to that. While Ori offered a great streamlined experience, because let's be honest, you always knew where you had to go, with mostly ups and then some downs. If you remember the water flooding level, that was a lot of frustration and a lot of attempts to go through it, but well, it felt rewarding in the end. And to counter that, Hollow Knight is mostly, it's like a wave. Sometimes you go up the wave, sometimes you go down. It offers a mix of emotions, from deep frustrations to overwhelming joy. The difficulty level of Hollow Knight is also considerably higher, but the game is totally skill-based. There are no random factors. If you win, it's because you did great. If you lost, that's your fault entirely. The good sides are, the game is challenging, it's skill-based gameplay, there's a lot of content, levels, enemies and items, there's amazing art style, and the surroundings are really immersive, the feeling of the abandoned world that changes as you change. The controls are truly responsive, except for maybe this whole ground slam move. It's really hard to pull that on off because the time frame when you have to press jump button is really small, and the music and sounds are really awesome. The game has the major negative sides though. The map system is horrible. This is what splits the community. For me, I didn't like it, because even if you buy the items necessary to update your map, you still need to find that NPC that sells you the map of the current location, and a lot of times you cannot do this easily. Now, because you don't have the map, it's hard to find the resting places. Since you cannot find the resting place, you have to restart at your last resting place if you die. And this resting place is usually very far. If you die a second time where you move towards your death location, you lose your coins, all the money that you have accumulated. Sure, there is a bank there, but then you'd have to return to the bank every time you want to put something else there. There's the mentioned lack of direction. If you are like tightly knitted plots and someone telling you that needs to be done, that game is not for you. You really have to explore that underground city, return to the locations that you've previously been in case you miss something. You won't even understand that you missed something until there's nowhere else to go and you're out of options. At one point I understood that I missed one of the bosses in the game, because I thought there was a pit where you shouldn't have jumped, but in truth that was a pit that you should have jumped to. So yeah, just my personal experience from this. In summary though, the game does not lead you by the hand, and I think it is great, but it sometimes feels that it gives too much freedom, which might be a disappointment for some of you, if you are looking for something with a straightforward plot and at least some vague directions where you need to be. Overall, the Hollow Knight to me was a bittersweet experience. I could not play it for more than 1-2 hours a day because it can easily be very frustrating. Still, don't let that discourage you. That's the game that actually gives you a bouquet of different emotions. Because you feel frustrations, the emotional reward of completing something here also feels greater than great. And because you experience so much, the game begins to feel amazing too. Due to that, the game captivates you. The magical feeling of wanting to overcome the difficulties will drive you forward once you pass the initial resistance. The lack of decent mapping might hurt, but overall it adds the sense of unknown, where you're trying to explore the new location. If you lose patience easily, this game is definitely not for you, like 100%. Otherwise, I highly recommend this game. It's a great experience. You might throw your joystick against the wall at one point, but you will be returning to play the game next day. So yeah, I think the main point of it is the joy of solving problems and overcoming challenging foes. Definitely grab this one right away if you're a fan of Metroidvanias. This is how the games should be done. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more reviews, check out shortgamereviews.com or join our Steam group, linked below. Vladimir is out. Bye!